आवाज नहीं आ रही है अभी।
विश्वम साहब अनम्यूट करना है।
अनम्यूट कीजिए, आवाज नहीं आ रही है।
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
वाले-
Audible now?
No,
वालेकुम
no, 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 you are audible. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We
أعوذ
have
بالله
introduced
من
you and now
الشيطان
you can
الرجيم
say.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري. My dear respected teachers, management representatives, and all others who assembled here, MashaAllah, this is a fine morning that at the earliest we are listening to the good words from our Prophet ﷺ and Quranic verses. Yeah, this is a very great gift that Allah has selected you for this position. Now the topic is a very burning topic I have taken, that is reformation, need of the hour in Islamic, in Muslims education in India. As you know, that what we were and what we today and what we will tomorrow, we don't know. Yeah, inshallah, the going trend is very delicate and it is embracing, and no thinkers can decide what is going to happen. If you take the prevailing atmosphere in the national level or international level, the position of Muslims, particularly education of Muslims, is in a very pathetic condition. Now Allah says in Surah Ra'd, ayat number 11, Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma bi qawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. जब अल्लाह ताला उस कौम की हालत उस वक्त तक नहीं बदलता जब तक वो लोग अपने आप को बदलने की कोशिश नहीं करती. Allah has clearly said in his Quranic verses say, MashaAllah, Quran is a mirror for us. It is a life formula for us. Yeah, if we go through it, everything is there available for us. The pity is that we are not reading the Quran, or we are not understanding it properly, and we're not prepared to listen it at least. When we are trying to listen to the other things in the whole night, we are not prepared to listen to the Quranic verses for 10 minutes. It is a very pity. Now the darkness is prevailing among the Islamic community. Islam is a religion. Today, it is a world of the 21st century. It is a world of knowledge and technology. Age of knowledge. Yeah, really. The first one being the age of uncertainty. The second challenge is that it is the age of competition, where there is need to develop emotional interchange. Now the third thing is changes that of 21st century being the age of advanced technology. Now artificial intelligence is prevailing everywhere. The man's mind has begun no work. Artificial intelligence is doing everything. The coming future will be the world of artificial intelligence, and our students must prepare for it. And whatever the students are getting degrees, even 1 or 2 degrees, number of degrees, there is no use of getting degrees in the future or the near future. Only artificial intelligence is going to play a greater role in future. And now itself it has started in the most of the developing countries. Now India is entering into it. It seems that in future youth employment will be dull without artificial intelligence. All work will be done by the artificial intelligence. Therefore, we must prepare to face the challenges. The third challenge is 21st century of the age of technology. Just I said that it is so developing within seconds. We don't know what is going to happen the next moment in the entire world. Fourth challenge is age of global marketing. Today, the world is going through the global marketing. Everything, something is happening in global. Yeah, our students, our Muslims are not aware of it. Still, we are in the world tradition. Really, it is leading to a fashion parade of learning styles. One of the major challenges that is very most important is a dynamic change of speed. Is the speed of and dynamics of the knowledge. It is explosion of knowledge. Within seconds, It seems that everything is happening without our knowledge. We are coming on now itself. You just take, for example, what is happening in your outside of the street. You don't know sitting in the home. You would know about all these days. There was the Gemini, and it was dominating the entire world. Now DeepSeek has come, overtaking the American. Yeah. Now the entire market of the America has gone down because of the DeepSeek. Such a things are happening. Yeah, my dear teacher, it is the time for us to think over it and think over our students. Just turn the pages of history, and inshallah, you will find that Islam is a religion based on science and logic. There is nothing in Islam which is contrary to reason and wisdom. It binds its followers to gain knowledge and attain education. It is to be noted that great masterminds of Europe and America are appreciated and praise the greatness of the message of Islam. And the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the great peace be upon him, the great poet Gothi, the great historian Gibbon, the great philosopher Carlyle, the great orator in general, the great socialist George Bernard Shaw, and many others were profoundly impressed by the philosophy of Islam and doubted its greatness. Bernard Shaw says that Islam is the only religion. Islam is the only religion that can satisfy all intelligent people who want a religion to guide them spiritually, morally, and socially. What a wonderful words of Bernard Shaw. Once again, I'm repeating that Islam is the only religion that can satisfy all intelligent people who want a religion to guide them spiritually, morally, and socially. The strongest argument advanced by Bernard Shaw to prove the universal acceptability of Islam is that it has great power of absorbing every form of progress made by philosophy and science. The Muslims from the 7th century to 15th century AD contributed to the development of human civilization, which is amazing. They have explored and exploited the potentialities of objects which had remained unknown. They gave serious thought of every subject and most important discoveries in chemistry, in astronomy, in mathematics, in medicine. They have specialized history and geography. They have unearthed alchemy and algebra. They have initiated and developed the study of political economy and solar sociology. They made commendable research in zoology, geology, and botany. The fact was openly acknowledged by European scientists and scholars. Really, the enormous responses taken by the Dr. Major of this world, that major inventions of this world, that Islam encouraged progress and development and facilitated the growth of reason and science, as a result of which these Muslims could dominate all over the world. As a result of which the Muslims could dominate all over the world during the first 500 years of Islam, not only in establishing political supremacy all over Arabia, Persia, Asia, Africa, and Southern Europe, but also educational field. How many of us are knowing that the arithmetic was founded by the Muslims, basic arithmetic, and they were the founders to the teachers to the Europeans, but also established universities and colleges all over the Islamic Middle East, long before the founding of Oxford and Cambridge University. The Muslims were the pioneers of modern educational system and founders of several disciplines like chemistry, astronomy, mathematics, algebra, physics, history, and geography. Muslims gave to humanity the concept of public hospitals and public libraries. Art of making paper and pharmacy, it was the wonderful miracles. It is amazing to note that telescope was invented by Muslim scientist Abul Hassan 700 years before Galileo. The decisive influence of Islam in culture and civilization on the European is remarkable. But alas, that apart from that, if we are going through the history of the Islamic world between the middle and the eighth beginning of the 13th century, the Arab-speaking people were the mind bearers of a large culture and civilization throughout the world. Moreover, they were the medium through which the ancient science and philosophy were discovered. My dear teachers, it was supplemented and transmitted in such a way to make possible the renaissance of Western Europe. In all these, Arabic, Spain, and a large share. They were not only they have this in Spain, Sicily, and one more nation, that is Baghdad, is the hub of education. Now, what is the thing going on now? It is very sad and unfortunate that such pioneers and leaders of intellectual movement have been relegated to the background. I'm very sorry to say that decline and descendants of Muslims since the last 14th century is the darkest chapter in their history. May Allah save us after the enjoyment of power, wealth, and supremacy for 800 years. Today, Muslims became weak and luxury loving. They engaged in controversies over petty issues and quarrels. Mutual hatred and disunity became the hallmark of the community. They lost their vigor and vitality. The decline of Muslims' intellectual life has been attributed to the increasing rigidity of in interpreting the divine laws. After the death of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, followed instructions of the Quran and the traditions of Prophet Muhammad strictly. They have concentrated not only in spreading the message of Islam, but also gave much attention to the learning of science. They have established and many institutions all over the Islamic world. The rulers patronized, encouraged these institutions, but in course of time, there was much political instability and frequent change of rulers in many places. The religions, conflict among Muslims added fuel to the fire. My dear teachers, Sufism, unknown to elder Muslims, was slowly introduced. Common people who had no advanced knowledge of religion began to accept Sufism. Religious fanatism and narrow mindedness among a section of people the against science became very strong. These factors led to the downfall of Islamic science. It is at this period that Sir Sayyid Ahmed Khan entered the field and brought a revolution and a renaissance in the education of Muslims. As long as Al Quran, the book of Allah, and the tradition of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam began, broad and comprehensive interpretations, the Muslim community was marching ahead on all fronts, emerged as undisputable, unchallengeable masters politically, socially, economically, and scientifically. They were also to establish their political authority all over Arabia. They were the masters of intellectual and scientific fields. But when the latter divided the knowledge into two temporal and religious and started giving narrow interpretation Al Quran and the tradition of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam on the model of Christian theologians of medieval Europe, the Muslim community began to degenerate and decline. This is the important point which we have to note that where we were and where the destruction started. For a true believer, religion is not confined only to in mosques and prayers. Every activity, from cradle to grave, should be based on Quranic injunctions and Prophet's traditions. His speech, behavior, thinking, way of life, his relations with fellow men, like him, kith and kin, his commercial activities, his conjugal life, and his political activities, everything should be religious, and any lapse in any of his actions or in any part of his life against the divine message and the wisdom of prophet is not acceptable. When he goes astray from the straight path, he ceases to be a Muslim. The community which attained the pinnacle of glory during the medieval times in terms of its contribution to the advancement of human civilization has now reached the lowest rung of the society. Very sorry to say that it has become more backward socially, economically, politically, and educationally. Or probably you are aware of the fact, Rajendra Sachar in report, openly declared that condition of the community is worse than the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. Yes, the community is badly in need of pragmatic leaders who could draw the attention of the masses, who can bring reformation in our education, particularly Muslim education. The realization of the undeniable historical facts would invigorate the community to march ahead in the right direction and respond to the challenges badly, confidentially, and successfully. Really, today we need the need of the hour is that we have to bring a change among Muslims education. We are in the deep slumber. We don't know that our students today the need of the hour is that we have to prepare our students according to the changing times. It's still based on the Islamic law, that is Quran and Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's teaching. We have forgotten the Allah, and Allah has forgotten us. I'm not saying that the great historian Mr. Gibbon is historically marking that Muslims have banished Quran from this world, and Allah has banished peace and prosperity from the Muslims. Really, it is a wonderful thing. That is the unfortunate that today we are facing in every field, the only defeat wherever we go. But the thing is that we are not paying most attention to the our students' education. To bring a change in reformation in the field of education, we must pay our first need of the hour is to pay our attention to the primary education. Today, whether you believe it or not, that only 60% of the children are going to the schools, primary schools, and 40% we don't know where they are going, what they are doing. Yeah, really, and that too after pandemic period, and this also declined. And very pathetic thing is that we are seeing our students in signals spots and everywhere, wherever it is possible, they were begging. And you probably are not aware of the fact that we have to shed the blood tears that our most of the Muslim students and young youth, so, they were they were in jails. Yeah, 70% of the population in jails is our Muslims. Really, it is a very, very horrible thing that 70% of the population, the entire population, those who are in jail, they are our Muslims. Yeah, really, it is the need of the hour. That was we must plan, check out the plan. And on the other day, also in the ulamas meeting at Chennai last week, I told the ulamas that you are doing a lot of work outside of the world. But do you know how much of our people, our students, are there in the fields? Even the police department is very tired of it. They are visiting the schools and admission, and they're giving advice to the headmasters, teachers, that find out your attendance, where these students are going. They are dropouts, and they are even more pathetic to say it is alarming situation is now created. They have become addicted to the drugs, intoxication. It is really wonderful, pitiable, and we have to shed tears of blood. Not only in one town, to other town, the entire India. Now our students are there. It is better that we are in better situation in South India, but when compared to North India, still the position is worse. Yeah, the students have been addicted to drug. They don't know about. Parents are not aware of it. Teachers have not taken the responsibility, and the management should not pay proper attention to it. There is the need of the hour that to bring reform in our Muslims education. We must bring these children to our schools. 40% of our children are outside of the schools. And out of this 60%, only half of the students are sixth, seventh, and eighth. And they were remaining there. From this, only 17% are going to ninth standard, 10th standard, 11th standard, 12th standard. It is very, 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 I don't know what to say, that out of the 17% up to 12th standard, only 4% are going to the higher education in graduation level. That is degree level, only 4%. You think of it, what is the condition today? The total population, yeah, 100%, but they are going to only 4%. And we are proud of that our children are going to Makatibs, they are studying well. Now the data shows that out of this 100%, only 4% are going to the madrasas, that is makatibs, only 4%. From this 4%, 2% are regular and 2% are irregular. We are of the opinion that our students, though they are not coming to schools, but they are going to the madrasas, that is makatibs. But it is a sorry state of affairs that even that madrasas, only 2% they are in regular, 2% is in need of the hour is that now we have to transform our Muslims to bring changes, reformations in education. That is what I mean, that we should think that where there is Asri Talim, secular education, we must bring religious education also. That is Dini Talim. For example, if you are in schools, we are teaching only the religious, secular education. Apart from that, 1 or 2 minutes in each period, if a Muslim teacher goes to the classes that to tell about the history of past, what were the Muslims, what is the importance of education, and where we were, and what we are today, and make a motivation in among the students. Let them learn something Islamic things. And similarly in Makatibs, where they were going to education, religious education, that is from Asr to Maghrib, Maghrib to Isha. Let Asr to Maghrib, they have the Dini Talim, or Maghrib to Isha, they have, let us have the Asri Talim. That is what they were going for tuition. You conduct the tuition classes in the mosque itself, get little fees, and make it compulsory, and appoint teachers, and give attention to both of the things. Yeah, really, the pitiable condition is that up to 18th century, from 12th century to 18th century, we have separated the education from Islamic education to the Asri Talim, and that is the default we have committed. That is the great mistake we have committed. The ulamas are standing on one side of the shore, and the religious scholars are standing, the Asri Talims are standing on the other side of the shore. They don't want to come to this meet and exchange the things. If these people come to there, they can change the miracles. They can change the entire world. The Islamic education can be introduced in schools, and Yasri Talim can be introduced in Makatib. And if you take the history and turn the pages of the history, you will understand that in previous days, most of the scientists were hufaz, that is memorization Quran. They have given first importance to the Quran. From based on the Quranic teachings, they have discovered, they have invented lot of things. Take Al-Bayruni, Al-Assad, Al-Khurram, and so many others. Yeah, number of scientists, Abu Sina, the Abu Sina book was a on medical science. For 800, the Europeans were following on this book. Even now they were following, and they were opening new chapters in this Abu Sina's book, medical science. And similarly, Ibn Khaldun, that is historian, he has written number of things about India and about the Muslims. Whether you believe it or not, when when Mughals were ruling the country, the GDP was 28% for Muslims education. And the British people have come to bring 10% education to Muslims. Instead of doing that, what they have done, first they have abolished Arabic and Persian from the all official departments. As a result of this, most of the chief teachers have left out of the job, and they were in the desperate condition. And slowly they have made English as a compulsory language. Because of this, our ulamas could not make a point. And before that, by and by, after this British, instead of doing the good to the people, they have destroyed the education of Muslims. After that, that literacy rate has come down, and most of the Muslims were illiterate after the British and during the British. When the British left this India, now the education was nothing for Muslims. They have brought the Act 1835, and compulsorily they have it was passed, and education was introduced. A number of colleges were opened by the introduction of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, entered the field and brought a revolution and renaissance. It is a long history. I cannot say in few words or in the short time. If you turn the pages of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan's history, how much he struggled for that to bring a renaissance in the Muslim world and reformation, the Islamic education, and as well as the secular education. He is the man who has become a messiah for the people. He says that a man without education is like a bird without wings. He has given so much importance to the education. In 21st century, see, the one who is uneducated is one who is not learning, but he is the uneducated who has learned, unlearned, and relearned. This is a wonderful thing. We have to take lot of things from our ancestors and make a mirror and keep it as for the future planning. Moreover, I'm very sorry to say this out of these 4% which are going to the higher education, day by day it is going on decreasing. Last year throughout the India, 1,79,000 students were missing in the higher education. Yeah, higher education today has gone very low among the Muslims, and Muslims have to make a lot of things for that. The reason for this is that in 1930, when the struggle for freedom was started, most of the Indian Muslims, they have paid their attention to the division of Pakistan, that they have paid their attention to the welfare of the Pakistan. And during 1947, when we got the freedom, India got the freedom, and Muslims were in a pathetic condition, and rivers of blood were running to save their lives. And Muzittar and Tittar, the Muslims were running further to save the life. They wanted to protect their life. They could not pay the attention. And after 1947 till 1992, when Babri Masjid was demolished, till then there is no awareness among Muslims. When it happened in 92, we think that it was demolished. No doubt it is a very sorrowful affair, and it is to be written in the history of Muslims in dark letters. But the thing is that after the demolition of Babri Masjid, there was awareness among Muslims, and everyone thought that without education we cannot survive in India. Now there was a silent revolution is going on after 1992, and up to date today, the enrollment of students is somewhat improving, and the almost the literacy rate is something better than the previous one. At the time of India got the 18%, today it is 77%, and Muslims are more than 70% literate, and but there is it still have this pitiable condition that girls are lagging behind to Muslim boys in education. Today, need of the hour is not only for doctors, engineers, and other professionals, but the need of the hour is bureaucrats. Yeah, the most important thing that today the reformation education should bring to make bureaucrats, that is policy makers, and unless and until our policy makers entered the political field, entered the administrative departments of the India, in education field and other field and everything, they cannot make policy making. What is happening, and that even for Tamil lawyer jobs, that is at the Tahsildar level job, at the police station, at the magistrate court, our people are not there because due to lack of minimum knowledge. And now the government of Tamil Nadu has made Tamil also compulsory, as a result of which that our most of these students from now onwards, unless and until they learn Tamil, they cannot enter the field of the official departments. For your kind information, although all these years up to 2024, we from Umair making Herculean task and running pillar to post and to the High Court of Madras and Supreme Court and bringing Urdu as a first language and paid attention for the life. But in spite of all our efforts, from 2025 onwards, now the Supreme Court has given the option that students must write Urdu under Part 4. It is become optional. That is for Muslims, it is 600 marks, and for others, 500 marks, non-Muslim students. Really, it is a burden, one more additional subject. What we have suggested the formula that under Tamil and to, let it be Tamil for the Tamil students, and for Muslims, let it be Urdu or Tamil. And let these students of Tamil, they take advanced Tamil in part first, and our Muslims can take Tamil, functional Tamil in that place. But the government is still not paying any attention. On the other day, last week, when we have celebrated, that is 31st January and 1st February, We have Ummah has celebrated the Golden Jubilee celebrations. It has completed 50 years of its existence. Really, it was a grand celebration. And the Deputy Chief Minister of Government of Tamil Nadu, Mr. Udayanidhi Stalin, paid the visit. And really, we have submitted more than 30 points as our demands. The very, very, very first point is regarding the disparity of marks 500 and 600. He promised that he will pay the attention to it and take this matter to his father, Mr. Stalin, and now probably we can expect some solution. I don't think that the things will be so easily solved. Even yesterday also, I requested our leaders to kindly follow up the action. What we have submitted the memorandum to the government of Tamil Nadu, let it be followed. It should not be kept as a blueprint on white paper. But at least first demand should be satisfied so that our fruits of our golden jubilee must reach the entire generation and entire Muslim Islamic world, and they should enjoy it fully. My dear teachers, you can expect something change, but you don't believe all these things. You try to teach both Urdu and Tamil to our students, and they have to appear for both examinations in coming 2025. Take it as a serious thing and don't neglect it. Wherever students are there, to tell them to write Tamil also, because without Tamil, you cannot enter into the education, the professional life of Tamil Nadu from the lower grade to the
Voice break.
even. Yes, yes, I'm hearing. Yeah, this is the sorry state of affairs that my dear teachers, you must tell your headmasters, if headmasters are present here, make about 2 months are left, make serious attention to it. Inshallah, we will succeed and meet to next time, inshallah. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.
Voice finished. Voice breaking.
Now I completed Salim Bhai.
Okay, Jazakallah. So the last few seconds, link was broken. So Dr. Peshmam Nazeer Ahmed Saab has given an exhaustive points, research data on educational situation in the institutions. So the Peshmam Saab is telling that Muslims were following Quran, and initially they were successful. They have invented many new things and new technologies, but later Muslims left the Quran and they become the most backward people. And Peshmam Sahib has also told later Sir Syed Ahmad Khan started Aligarh Muslim University, and from that a revolutionary concept of introducing institutions in our cities and towns were started. Many colleges and schools were started at that time. And still the situation is not very good. We have to concentrate more on our standard, and we have to come out of this slumber, and we have to wake up. And Peshmam Sahib is also telling that we have forgotten Allah, and so Allah has forgotten us. So many points, important points, Peshmam Nazeer Sahib has collected and presented to us. We are very thankful to him. Very less time was given also to Peshmam Sahib. In that small duration, he has collected so many data and have presented it nicely to us. We are thankful to him. With this, the program comes to an end. Tomorrow again, we will be meeting Sunday morning with the Tamil sessions, and very two important speakers are there. Let us join tomorrow at 6:30. Subhanallah bihamdi, subhanakallahumma bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Program ends.
Assalamu alaikum.